Hi, this is a very short video about how to get a good grade in an internet class. There's often a misconception that internet classes are easier or that they're self-paced, and this is not true. All of the classes I teach are very, very fast-paced, and they're a little bit more difficult because there's a lot to read, there's a lot to do, there are a lot of discussions, there are a lot of things you just have to keep track of throughout the whole week. So it takes a lot of self-discipline to do a good job with an internet class. Okay, so the bottom line is they're not easier, they're harder. So in order to cope with this, I have a couple of tips here for you, which I'm sure if you follow, you will succeed in this class. Okay, tip one, which I already gave you, is basically just the realization that this may be a little harder than you think, and it may take some more time than you think, okay? That said, if you plan, you're going to be okay. So don't be alarmed. Just understand the case here, that there's more to read. Always, you have to navigate your way around the class, and a lot of the material that I need to deliver to you, I have to deliver to you in the form of reading, because we're not here in a face-to-face class all the time. So that's tip one, just kind of understand where you're at with this kind of class. Okay, tip two is to start early in the week. Get started early and get an idea for what's expected throughout the whole week. Get an idea for what's due at the end of the week, okay? Most of my classes, there's always something due on a Sunday night. So it's very critical that you understand the due dates, and it's very critical that you understand the project that unfolds throughout the week, so you don't just wait until Sunday night. Okay, you can't do these classes on a Sunday night. It's just not possible. You have to work regularly throughout the week. So to do this, follow the learning module. Find the learning module that you're currently in. That's the unit that we're working on. They're very clear where they are. They're very clear as to what the dates that they encompass. So maybe you want to keep yourself a calendar, keep kind of notes of where you are within that learning module, and make sure you go down the index on the left and follow every item in the learning module, and you'll be okay. All the material is there. Okay, tip three is to get in frequently. Don't think you're just going to get in one time Monday and then do the rest of the work Sunday night. That just doesn't happen, okay? There's too much going on, and you want to work steadily and regularly. Normally, you'd be in a classroom, don't forget, 3 times a week for 50 or 55 minutes. So you need to spend about that much time each week in this class, okay, in order to do well. And students that do well have roughly, I can track your work, okay, I can track the amount of time you spend, and students that do well in these classes spend about as much time as you would in a face-to-face class. Blackboard actually is tracking you, okay, and I read these tracking reports regularly, and particularly if I see your grade slipping, you might get an email from me that says, hey, you know, the rest of the class has this number of hours in, but you only have this number of hours in, and this is why you're not doing so well. Okay, tip 4 is to always work on the discussions early in the week and then get back in there and continue working, okay? Classroom discussion is meant to help you be involved in the class. It's meant to help you be involved with each other, and it's meant to help you do some of the brainstorming for some of the assignments. So all these discussions are very much oriented towards the learning goals of this particular unit that you're in. So these can get very frustrating if you wait to the last minute. There's too much to go over. And as I already said, the goals are very specific. So understand that the discussions are keyed very carefully to the unit. I've given these discussions a lot of thought, the topics, okay? And if you find yourself in there frequently and be dialoguing with the other students, and then of course be sure to look for when I get in there. I usually get in there by the middle of the week and also respond to my posts. You'll get a lot more out of this class, okay? The discussions are highly rated usually by the students, and don't forget they count for at least 20% of your grade. So get into the discussions early. Now some of you will be in there earlier than anybody else. I understand that, okay? So get back in there regularly and you'll be fine. Okay, the next tip is to please watch for my weekly or unit overviews. Almost every week there's going to be a new video on the homepage. Make sure you see these. Look at these several times, okay, throughout the week. Make sure you understand their contents. They're usually sort of administrative details. I do most of the teaching within the learning module itself, but on the front page of the homepage, okay, at the top, you'll usually see a new video about every week, at least if not every unit, in which I say, hey, here's what we're doing. This is the administration end of the class. Here's what's coming up. Here's what I want you to be thinking about, that kind of thing. And I always give assessment tips. I always, in these overviews, at some point, tell you how I'm going to be grading your papers, all right, or grading your projects. And of course, you can always look at the rubrics for the same material, which is in the learning module. Be sure to look at the rubrics for each assignment. That tells you exactly how I'm going to grade these. And I go over all of this, okay? Every time you see a new video, I'll go over some of this material. Then last but not least, always turn in your best work. Don't turn in garbage. Don't turn in unproofread work. Okay, this class, English W131 particularly, is meant to professionalize your writing, okay? I know for some of you, you think it's a drag. You're never going to get a job in which you get to rise up into management unless you're a good writer, okay? So right from the get-go, never turn in sloppy work. Never turn in unprofessional work. Never turn in work that kind of significantly lowers somebody else's opinion of you, okay? So make sure, you dot your I's, cross your T's, put your periods where they belong, your capital letters where they belong. Turn in very professional looking work. And then the second thing is turn your work in on time. There's no excuse for late work. Occasionally some of you have emergencies. I can kind of tell the good excuses from the bad excuses. I tend not to give any exceptions, okay? So turn your work in on time. That's just the hallmark of a good student. It's just the hallmark of a good employee. You do your work on time, okay? And if you wait till the last minute, have an emergency, whose fault is that, all right? So please, you'll get the grade in this class if you do the work, and if you do it on time, and if you always turn in your best effort. So hey, enjoy.